What is going on, 5-9 gamers? My name is Joe Wags, and today I will be your host for your favorite podcast, the Dokkan Battle Podcast. Our podcast is presented to you by 5-9 Gaming. 5-9 Gaming is your source for all things gaming, anime, and entertainment related. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things 5-9. Today's episode is 102, and in today's episode, we are going to be doing a November recap, talking about the Global Thank You Celebration, and talking about this Dokkan Fest Yamcha. So, pretty crazy stuff that we have, but I can't do it alone. I've got some amazing guests with me today. First up, I would like to introduce Tech Ultimate Gohan's biggest fan. You can't stop tweeting about this guy. Minato, how you doing today?
Doing good. And, Tech Gohan, what can I say? He's pretty good, That's all I can say about him. Hello.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy, right? So we did try to get the Master Ningen on this week to talk about Dragon Ball Heroes. He's having some internet issues, could not make it. So what we have today is the Master Ningen's British stunt double, Juki. How are you doing today, Juki?
I'm doing good. I'll try and defend Heroes as much as I can.
Yeah, I mean, we're counting on you. You gotta talk these guys up, right? So Ningen's not here to defend. Talk them down. All right, it'll be a battle of talking up and down the heroes. We'll see how it goes. And then last but not least, insert cool intro here. Vilify, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I noticed you called this episode 102. We are actually in episode 103.
No, we are on 102 because we did not record one. We did not record 102. So
we didn't. Oh,
if you read your Gilded chat, Vilify, you would know.
I was looking at the outline. I was looking at the outlines that I posted, and there was 102. So I was like,
that's why he's not Vilify anymore, man.
You know what? You know what, Joe? I'm glad that you're on top of things better than I am, but that's okay. I was just looking at the outline number, but good job. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I'll take the temporary. I'll take the L. It's fine. Let's just.
Yeah, Phil. Look at this content manager. Oh my. Dude.
I know. What are we going to do here? We might need to get a stunt double for Vilify next week, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I know, right? Maybe it'll be Ningen.
maybe. And then Juki will be here for Ningen in his normal role. It'll just be replacing everybody. So anyways, let's start with this actual podcast here. And so we've got a lot to talk about because it's been a hot minute. I think it's been like 3 weeks since we've had a podcast. So we're pretty much going to talk about the entire month of November. And a big part of that here is the Dragon Ball Heroes celebration. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump in and just talk about the new units. So we're going to talk about the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s, Golden Metal Cooler, Janemba, Hearts, and then I think I would throw in the new Awakenings as well if we want to talk about Robel, Supreme Kai, Super Saiyan 4 Gohan, and Bardock. So I want to know what you're thinking of kind of basically quote-unquote the new units, and maybe what's your favorite of the bunch. So let's start with Minato on this one. What are your thoughts on these new Heroes units?
I think that they are very useful in red zone and stuff like that if you're someone who cares about difficult content. Regardless, if you're just gonna have fun with these hero units, like oh my god, Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, or Dio and Dokkan, right? It's like very nice to get those units and just have fun with them at the very least. I feel like people, you have to realize that at the end of the day, it's a game. You should have fun with what you want to summon on. So if you're excited for these units, I understand why people may have summon on them. I mean, at this point, the banner's very close to leaving, probably, right? So, I mean, I guess saying summon or not is kind of weird, but yeah, I would say I think they're fine. They're not like, like red zone, like killers, like destroying everything, but they are useful, I feel, in a lot of these difficult content stages. My favorite probably is going to be Hearts or Super Saiyan 4 Gohan. I just really like, especially I'm a big Dio fan, right? I think that's just a major part. And Hearts' design is actually really, really cool. And Gohan is also just a very nice, he's a slot 1 unit on that team that you need. So he's also very, very important. And I just like his design a lot. I'm a big Gohan fan too. So, that's another thing. And yeah, that's all I would say. I think I like the hero units. I think they could have been better, but I'm fine with what they are.
For sure. Vilify, what do you think of these units?
One thing consistently that I saw with these hero units is a lot of people want to say that especially the newer ones are very dupe dependent. Minato, I think that you said that at least once.
Yeah, I mean, I would say some can be ran like at free dupe. Like I feel Hearts is actually pretty good at free dupe, right? Yeah. But their stats are just really low. They gave him like banner unit kind of stats this time instead of like when. Like last year, God Trunks had like kind of Dokkan Fest-ish level stats. Vegito Super Saiyan 4 had that kind of level stats. This time we see these units have like 9k defense, 13k attack at rainbow level. So you're like at free dupe, you're just kind of struggling in that department, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, it's kind of like counterproductive to have a 200% leader skill when these stats are so low, because it's kind of deceptive, right? Like when you think of a 200% leader skill team, you're thinking of the 600 to 700,000 HP that some of these teams are getting up to. And when you're still not in that range, I think it kind of makes things tricky. But overall, I'd say that these units are as always, a good step up. And Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Goku is probably my favorite. The animations are pretty fun, and like you were mentioning earlier, Super Saiyan 4 Gohan, I am a super big fan of. Unfortunately, did not pull hearts in the summons that I had, so the only experience I've had with him is as a friend lead, but his guard is very nice, and he was super nice in terms of getting done the Heroes Red Zone mission, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I'd say that these units are a lot of fun, and I definitely was like planning on not summoning much, but they got me and trapped me, and I fell for the guaranteed featured and summoned a decent bit, but... both the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s are a lot of fun. I'd say Goku's probably my favorite of the bunch, but that's based on just like the animation and just the overall design of the unit. So not too much to say for me. I'm not the biggest Heroes fan, but this year was definitely a lot of fun. I'd say that I like these units a decent bit.
Yeah. Juki, what do you think? Time to defend in Ningen's honor. What do you think of these Heroes units?
So one big thing we haven't mentioned yet is Rebellu. I think is like a genuine sleeper unit. Just having that scouter makes it really good in most content, and she fits onto a decent few teams outside of Heroes. But obviously, the one problem with that, is that scout effect is that you do need Heroes units for it. And I think that the Hearts team is definitely where she shines, but that's also just a big problem. Is that they split up the Heroes teams into like super and extreme. But you can't really do that in the same way you can do a team like Pure Saiyans, where there's so much. Like they restricted a restricted team even more, so it doesn't feel right. And I think that's also just a big problem with their 200% leads. Is like Bill said, you expect like the 600k, 700k HP stats when these teams don't have LRs, so they can't get that high HP as much as other teams, and it's a shame because it's not really a fault of the units. The units are really fun and like genuinely really good to use. I only pulled Hearts and Limit Breaker Vegeta, and like he's been a good lead with a Goku friend lead, running the team, but I think it's more just I don't even get me started on modified Janemba's fixes. It's just a bit annoying to see them treat the units like this compared to last year, where they kind of just let them roll out and then it was just sort of natural power creep that forced them behind. This time it feels like Dokkan are actively trying to destroy the Heroes celebration before it even starts.
I thought you were going to defend them.
I have a bit of
yeah. No, the more I thought about it, it's like, no, it's not the fault of the units. It's just the cards can be weird.
It's okay, Ningen. I got you. If you're watching this back, I got your back. Sometimes the Heroes units aren't that bad. They're still usable in difficult content, I'd say. And what I will say though is that I feel like it's not even like that. There's not LRs on the team either. But an issue as well is that, again, the stats are lower this year, so the HP stats in general are also lower than what we've seen previous years too. So that does hurt, especially this year's team. Even though it's like a 200% leader skill, the HP pool really did stay more or less the same because you lose stats out there on the HP stat, which does suck. Because it's like these bosses just hit you for so hard that... like, that is really what the Heroes team weakness is, which, again, it's a guaranteed featured SSR banner, so I can't see why they don't want it to be too strong, right? It's just a little unfortunate because the last few years, the Heroes teams have been, like, on par with whatever has been going on. Whereas I do feel this year, while it is obviously a runnable team, they're probably on the lower ends of 200% leader skill teams just because of that.
Modified Janemba, I thought was a funny case. I remember seeing the initial showcase. So I completely forgot that like he was just an SSR on like the initial night that they dropped like the info and all that. or like the data download, and I saw like what was it, like a 1.3 million attack stat, and I remember just losing my mind because I thought it was like a regular TUR. I was like, how is that even possible in 2022? They do that, and then I was reminded, like, I saw you just an SSR. I was like, phew, all right.
And yeah, to be fair, he
False
does
alarm.
build up, right?
He builds up. He can hit for like 5 mil. Like, he's not bad.
And what I will say with sorry, no, you go on.
I just thought it was funny. I was like, because I thought at the time it was a TUR. I'm like, that is just so unacceptable that a unit is hitting like that. But no, once I found out it was an SSR, and then I saw like some of the defensive capabilities he has, and isn't his guard kind of funky as well? Like, isn't there like a chance you can reactivate it?
So no. What's going on is his guard was broken in both versions, right? Mm-hmm. And it was always supposed to be for the first 5 turns. He has a high chance to guard, and then that's separate each turn. So you don't proc it, and then it lasts for 5 turns. But that's how it worked in the database, right? Mm-hmm. So they fixed that. So now it works how it's intended to be. And what happens is, even if the guard didn't let's say the guard, what's it called, procs on like turn 5, it would last from turn 5 onward, right? Or even if it procced on like turn 7, it would last turn 7 onward. But now they fix it so that's only within the first 5 turns. However, what that shows us is that we saw that the SSR of Hearts work the same way. So what we're presuming is going to happen with the Shineba is that he's going to get guaranteed guard for the first 5 turns, because that's what Hearts' TUR has, right? So obviously when he becomes a TUR, he should have the same thing, based on the fact that they're both busted, right?
Yeah. My assessment is I love Dragon Ball Heroes, and I'm definitely someone that will defend them. I really, really like them. And I think their level, like, I think they're built fairly. Like, I feel like they are very good. They're good enough to defeat difficult content. And it's like what Minato was saying. It's because they're so easy to pull. They're free guaranteed SSR per multi. I think they don't want to overshadow, like, they're not going to be Gamma level. They're not going to be like LR Cooler level, because they're a lot easier to pull. So I think as a budget team option, they're very, very good. And I would say, kind of like, for me, the standouts of these new units, I just like the fact about how the new leaders, like Hearts and the Goku and Vegeta, I like the way they are built as a leader, especially Hearts, because I love leaders that are also support units, which means I could use them as a floater if I want to build them with other rotations. And the other thing that's awesome about Hearts is he has a very easy transformation. So you could just run 2 Hearts on a rotation if you wanted to, then do a second rotation, and then do a bunch of floating supports. So I like that build. And what I love about Goku and Vegeta, they're not as cloggy. One, they do have a support passive, a slight support passive, if you have the opposite, a Goku needs a Vegeta needs a Goku. So you could float them too, but what I like that's flexible about them is, let's say I want to run the Goku lead. I don't have to have my team cloggy if I don't want to have 2 Gokus. I can run the friend Vegeta, and then Goku and Vegeta can be one rotation, and then my team building is still very open to fill with other units. Then I could say do a full Super Saiyan 3 Xeno rotation or something like that, or if I want to do like Bardock and Gohan, whatever. I just love the flexibility of the ways that the leaders are built, and I like that they have support passives. That's something I really like in there. And as Juki mentioned, I think Robel is probably like one of the craziest units here. Definitely a very good. I think she's a must run on the Hearts team. I've heard her referred to as kind of like, she's kind of like a mini Chilai. Is kind of, she's a unit that she's really built to support. Except her scouter isn't guaranteed, and she doesn't have like a key attack defense support, which kind of sucks. But she can hit for 7 mil. Like, she can hit hard, whereas Chilai's doing like 500k. But Chilai's still the better unit by far. But Robel has kind of got that nice support build that I think makes her a must run on any Hearts team. So I like these units, right?
She has the massive healing as well. Like you can get like 20% if you get 4 rainbow orbs, which is, it doesn't feel like a lot, but it can mean like life or death in certain situations, and probably help with a few active skill conditions.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say is the Hearts-led team with Robel and Supreme Kai of Time Brainwash is like a super battle road killer. Like, you've got 3 units that can AoE stun, and Supreme Kai of Time, like with all the debuffs, is hitting like 10 mil attack stats, and like everybody on the team is freaking they're stealing, they're attack downing. Like, you can lock down. I think my first attempt I did Time Traveler's Extreme Super Battle Road. First time, no item run, no problem with this team. Like, they just shut the enemies down. It's insane. you get that AoE stun and it's like a free Ghost Usher, and then you just annihilate. So I think for Super Battle Road, it might actually be one of the best Super Battle Road teams in the game. It's just the unfortunate part about Super Battle Road is obviously you're locked into very specific categories. You can't just walk into a whole bunch and do them, but very, very fun units. I love them. I think they're great. And once again, as a budget option, you could walk into this with 500 stones and probably pull a darn near a full team if you're a brand new player, which I think is really cool, right? Any other thoughts on the new units before we move on?
No, not really. I mean, I just think that they should have been probably better, but
I was gonna mention what about Supreme Kai Time Brainwashed, and then you snuck it in at the last second.
I love her. Okay. She's a unit that you can't use everywhere, but in the situations where she works, she's fantastic. So any of those, and I really hope, I don't know if they'll ever do it, but I would love if they came out with some type of super difficult red zone stage where the bosses didn't negate anything, like all debuffs around the table. I would love to see it. I know it's very cheesable because you can stun lock, seal lock, but I would just like to see at least one stage like that outside of Super Battle Road where you could actually utilize these units, because there's so many of these units that debuff, but there's so much of the game that just negates it. So I wish there was more places than Super Battle Road where I could use these. But that's just me, right?
I think you answered your own wish there by mentioning Super Battle Road, right? Or it's just that's kind of like the medium.
That's the place. I know.
You get the 8 items and you get the debuffs, and that's especially now with just the way they design units, it's almost kind of baby mode at this point,
right? Super Battle Road definitely is not top tier hard content anymore like it used to be, right?
Yeah, I'll revitalize it. Yeah, maybe. How would they do it? Z Extreme Super Battle Road? I don't know, but some of these Extreme Super Battle Road stages do hit pretty hard. I was basically iteming my whole way through the thing on JP, but I would imagine the final trump card ESBR hits very hard.
Yeah, I would imagine
without items. Yeah,
right. So being on this topic, and we can talk about it, because I think the big thing was with Heroes last year is that the units, as soon as Anniversary hit, they aged out immediately. The power creep was pretty heavy. Mm-hmm. Do you guys think the power creep will be this heavy this year? Do you think they're going to age out? How well do you think these units will age? So, Juki, I'll start with you. How well do you think are these Heroes units going to age out, in your opinion?
Well, hopefully they won't do another big leader skill jump this year.
I can't see that happening. Yeah.
Yeah, no. At most, they'll just include more categories on the leader skills for 200%. With the Yamcha, we saw double 30% buffs. But I think they'll fare a lot better this year, especially because we don't know we have no intel on what the theme could be. That they might help the heroes units. We don't know. They might give them more places to be run, or overall, I think they're probably going to age a lot better. A lot of the Easy A's are going to age a lot better than last year's. Mm-hmm. Definitely. We'll get onto that probably soon. Yeah. But
yes, we will talk about the Easy A's after this topic. Yes, for sure. The Easy A's are fun. Minato, how well do you think they're going to age this year?
I mean, it depends on how power creep for the year 7 goes. On global, you guys will be fine for I don't know,
until July at least, right? Yeah,
7 months. On JP, it's 2 months, and then we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're I don't know. I just hate that they're restricted to the Heroes team. That's my biggest complaint. Because there's so many other teams that these guys buff because they're kind of obscure characters at times, not corrupted Janemba, but the name is getting my mind. Modified Janemba, he could be such a huge help to freaking Corroded Body and Mind or something, but no, he wants to be used with crossover characters. Golden Metal Cooler, bro. He has these links that you can't even use. It's just really annoying.
Yeah, his best linking partners are the free-to-play metal coolers. They're not, they don't help him.
Not at all. It's really stupid.
When I did my modified Janemba showcase, I actually brought STR Janemba without a leader skill just to link with him, because I just wanted to see what would he look like, in a good setup with actually properly linked. So that's I went to that measure on some of these showcases, which does emphasize the frustration. And what I said in my video is what I'm hoping is, I don't know if they'll do it, but when Golden Metal Cooler and Janemba awaken next year, my hope is that the restriction would be heroes or crossover, but then add Wicked Bloodline, add Corroded Body and Mind to that, so that you can put them on these other teams. That's my big hope, is that they just expand the restriction a little bit to include another category or two. That's what I'm hoping.
Joe, you can see my the screen where all my Dokkan is right now, right?
I can, yes.
All right, check out how dedicated I am to this tech Janemba. See how hard I've went with him.
Oh yeah, you're so dedicated. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, we got everything else. So I guess Golden Cooler as well. But yeah, you see everything else is ready to go. But then you got our boy Janemba down here.
Hey, I did my showcase, and I was actually pretty impressed with him for SSR. He was putting up good numbers. You just got to build him up. And the one thing I will say in terms of aging, right, is obviously the SSRs. I think Golden Metal Cooler and Janemba, obviously they're going to age well because they're going to awaken next year and be brought up to that content. And Golden Cooler's got damage reduction, so I think he has the potential to actually be pretty insane. But something that I do like, I know it's kind of a bummer that we get these units every year that don't Dokkan Awaken, but the good thing about it is they are very overpowered for SSRs. So like I'm someone that summons heavy, so I end up rainbowing the SSR and the TUR. So like I have a rainbowed Supreme Kai of Time and Robel, their SSRs and their TURs both rainbowed. And the SSRs, they go hard still in Super Battle Road, and you can run all 4 of them on a team and just really go crazy. So I do like that for like, it's kind of a whale thing, right? But like, I like the idea that I can rainbow the SSRs and are actually kind of good. So like I have an extra Gohan and Bardock rainbowed also SSRs, and they still can do pretty decent. So I don't know. I think that part's kind of fun about it.
I was just dead set on the Heroes Red Zone mission. So like I just knew that the two on the bottom weren't ranked to the team. So I just didn't put any effort into them. But like link levels and stuff like that, like Xeno Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Of course I get the little white stone and get my copy of him. I'm like, okay, that's all I'm buying for the sales. And then like I pull him like within like a multi after doing that. I was like, okay, well there's $30 down the drain, but
Vilify, you're not supposed to spend your stone until you're done summoning, right? Yeah, like that's Dokkan 101 right there.
At least you get 100 stones with it as well. So I was like, you know what? I'll take the Super Saiyan 3 Goku was like, he's the key. Like that was what just made the mission free. After I had him, I literally got it on my first try. So yeah, I was like literally like it got to the point where that was the only reason I was summoning, just to get units to try and beat this Heroes Red Zone mission, because it was bothering me so much that I couldn't get it done.
Yeah, and I'm so hardcore. Like I'm like Ningen. I'm hardcore for Heroes. I think I got Hearts to 79% and then Golden Cooler 90%, but I rainbowed the rest. And so, and I typically go in until I rainbow most of the banner every year, and I like it. So yeah, it's fun. But I went in with my stone, and I just needed one more Zeno Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and I bought a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito because he wasn't featured this year at all. So I picked him up, and I got them both rainbowed. So pretty good. But let's jump into the EZAs, because the EZAs I think are actually kind of stealing the show. The EZAs here, there are some very ridiculous good ones. We won't list them all out, but we'll just let people talk about like who their favorites are, any highlights from the EZAs. So Vilify, I'll start with you. What's your kind of favorite EZA of the bunch, or who do you want to talk about?
I mean, I literally just gave him like a 30-second shout out, right? Xeno Super Saiyan 3 Goku's got to be the best of the bunch for me. Just the damage reduction and the guard is just so valuable. And when I'm just like I said, with my focus on the celebration in specific was just getting done the Red Zone mission, right? And that guy, he just made things so much easier with having just that reliable slot 1 unit. At 55%, it was a little bit sketchy, but with an extra dupe, I would imagine it'd be even like that much easier. I'd say, I unfortunately, like you just saw my Heroes box. It's not the most vast thing in the world, so I haven't really had time to take a look at like units like Few and Tech Supreme Kai of Time and all that, but I do know that they're decent. Tech Supreme Kai of Time could see a little bit of a like resurgence if we get like a lot of Realm of Gods buffs within the next year or so. I was talking to some people. The first thing that came to mind for me, funny enough, was like a new Beerus of sorts. Maybe like because Beerus and Whis I think eventually will EZA. It's already been hinted at with that poll. I think we talked about that on here. I forget.
We were going to talk about it last time, but we didn't have. So we actually haven't talked about it yet. So we could talk about that during this podcast. But just, I know this is kind of a side note here, but do we know the results of that poll yet? Have those
surely
been
God? No. I'm going to say surely God Goku won.
Right, we're figuring God Goku, but I just want to know for sure. I just want to know for sure because I'm not going to lie, I voted for Beerus.
I also voted for Beerus.
Yeah. The only thing I knew, like I went with a differing opinion, was I wanted it was the option between the link level stage and then what was it, more skill orbs. I said more skill orbs because we have like a gazillion ways to get link levels now.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like the description they give as well was like, what is the key, the ultimate power?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that maybe the one we voted for isn't the one that they're gonna buff. It's only just popped into my head now, but yeah, I hope not because I voted for skill orbs.
They're not gonna be like, "Hey, yo, go for this." We're gonna do the exact opposite. Thanks,
Well,
guys.
my-
You're the
well,
That's a
it is
Legends move.
It is a
Yeah,
global,
that would be a Legends.
It's a global survey, so I mean, come on. They're a little suspect.
Oh, true. They don't cover by global. You're right. My bad.
Yeah.
For sure. So Minato, what do you think of the EZA units? What are your kind of standout units out of this batch?
So I would say, and let me bring up the list again real quick here. Great Saiyaman 3. I think I really like Great Saiyaman 3.
Yes.
He's so goated. The damage he does is pretty nice, right? And he actually does tank pretty well. Now, the only issue, obviously, is that if he gets supered, he is in trouble. But besides that, even like against some supers, like against AGO Broly, he's able to eat his super attack, right? So then you're just like looking very, very good there. But yeah, I would say Great Saiyaman 3, and then obviously Super Saiyan 3 Goku's already brought up. Those two are like my favorites. Golden Cooler squeezes in at third though. Because I have to bring him up at least, right?
Golden Cooler's crazy. Yeah.
A lot of these EZAs are really cool. Like Sealess is still cool too, right?
Yeah.
They have good designs.
They do.
How can I forget about Sealess? I have him too. He's really
He is good.
Yeah.
He's very good. Yeah. Juki, what do you think?
I was going to talk about, if someone else talked about Great Saiyaman 3, I was going to talk about Sealess, because I think one of the strangest things is like how much defense he can get when he transforms. Like, it's not strange. It's really good. He can get over, if he triple supers, I think it was over 1 million in his best situation, which is insane for a unit that came out so long ago and literally just EZA'd. He has great support for the teams with like time travelers and artificial life forms. Like, he just steals the show and can be put in slot 1 or slot 2, at least untransformed. He's definitely slot 2 when he's transformed. But another unit that hasn't really been spoken of too much are like the free to play EZAs.
Yep.
I think Great Saiyaman 4 is actually really good. Just having that high additional, he can safely partner up with Great Saiyaman 3, and they share so many links that buff each other, like Hero, which is 25% defense at link level 10, Hero of Justice, Infighter, Patrol. They give so much to each other, and plus Great Saiyaman 4 gives him an additional support buff with defense that I think it was my Great Saiyaman 3 at like 79% hit almost like 450k pre-super and like pre-gang hit, because obviously he loses a bit of defense, which is still a shame that they kept that in his passive. But yeah, no, I think Great Saiyaman 3, Great Saiyaman 4 just as a rotation has been one of the most fun things to run out of the celebration for me.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, and I think Rainbow Great Saiyaman 3 is like over 500k defense pre-super, which is pretty crazy. And the Great Saiyaman 4, the thing with him is he does stack kind of slow, but he can triple super. So like,
yeah,
if you get lucky with him, he does get to like very good numbers relatively quick. I'll jump in and say like, I'll talk about some units that haven't been mentioned yet, and I'll stay with the free-to-play train, but I really like Ames. I think Ames is actually a very solid free-to-play unit, and I think Poutine is still very good as well, especially when you're running like those Super Battle Road builds. I really like them. I'm going to say kind of the losers here are both of the Cumbers. I was not impressed with either Cumber, to be honest. The only thing that Great Ape Cumber has going for him is that Great Ape sucks, and he's probably still one of the better units for Great Ape. But like, yeah, I was not impressed with them. But like pretty much all of the EZAs, I can't really say anything bad about them. Like even Fu's got like dodge chance, and like he hits really hard. Golden Cooler might be one of my favorites. Great Saiyaman 3 is a boss. Like, he's ridiculous. Well, so yeah, I'm loving these units. And EZA is just my favorite mechanic, period, in Dokkan, because like you have these old units. Like you're talking about, Sealess is how old, just collecting dust in everyone's boxes, and now he's like really good. So very happy for Heroes and all that. Yeah, go ahead, Minato.
My favorite of the free-to-play units would be Salsa, actually.
You like Salsa a lot? Yeah.
His dodge chance is really cool. I took him into Red Zone. We all know how annoying that robot is from the Metacooler stage,
yes,
right?
the robot, yes.
He ate a super attack with the robot for 450k. And
That's
his
pretty
full
good.
passive wasn't built up, right?
Yep.
He's a good free-to-play unit, and he has a 50% dodge chance. So, I don't know. This Salsa is pretty good. I think he's going to age very well on that crossover team.
Yeah, literally, I think the only like losers here are the Cumbers, unless somebody disagrees with me and thinks the Cumbers are great. But they're the only ones I really wasn't impressed with out of all the ECAs.
Another thing I hate about Giant Ape Cumber, it's so weird. His name is Super Saiyan Cumber giant ape Cumber.
Yeah.
Like, why put Cumber twice?
They just love
Doesn't make
Cumber that
sense.
much, man.
Dude. Oh, they're Cumber stands, I guess, that's why he's so bad.
Well, I was gonna say, if they're stands, why is he not so good? Like,
I'm not gonna tell you. Maybe, I don't know. I can't even come up with
team
an
that
excuse.
designed Raditz made him.
I think the STR Cumber's all right. People.
He's a decent stacking option. The biggest thing is that he wants to be in the first slot, but like, if you at like the start of events, he's not too good.
Yeah, it's because you have to keep in mind, you see that sort of turn defense, and you're like, eh. And then once he actually attacks, he gets 70% extra multiplicative defense. So even if he has like, I don't know, like 300k defense start a turn, then he would get 70% of that, right, added once he attacks, which is a lot of defense, right? It's just that, obviously, since you want to be around slot 1, getting defense when you're like actually attacking in the attacking phase, not really ideal. We would rather have it just all starter turn, right?
Yeah. And I would say the other unit I was unimpressed with, not an easy A, but Legs, that new free-to-play Legs, I wasn't too impressed with her. But she could after an easy A. I think she has the skeleton of a decent kit that she could be good, but I wasn't too impressed with
No,
Legs
she looks
either.
bad, terrible. I
Yeah,
hate how she
yeah.
is. Actually awful. What were they thinking with her? Yeah, let's give this free-to-play unit 6% chance to crit with each attack if the enemy's debuffed. That's great.
She needs a support passive. She needs a support
Let's
passive.
give her the high chance of lowering attack and defense. And sealing. I hate that when it's like a high chance to seal. And now this is the first one that has a high chance to lower attack. That's so dumb. It's just
I know.
dumb.
I'm thinking those are all going to
A
be
lot of-
guaranteed, but yeah.
A lot of stuff she has is like dependent on the enemy's HP, and like
Yeah.
I think that's
At
one
the
of the
very
worst
least-
mechanics they've introduced.
At the very least, it's the end. Now, I wouldn't say it's not that bad. Enemy HP is not really that bad. What would suck is that if she wants to be at high HP, like Super Saiyan 4 Bardock, I absolutely hates that Super Saiyan 4 Bardock, dude. He sucks. He's garbage. Bad unit.
No, I think
Hate him.
I think he's okay
No,
next to
he's
Gohan.
bad.
No,
No, he's bad. Nope.
Juki
I
Minato
actually-
said so. He's
Yeah.
bad, so he's
He's
bad.
garbage.
You wanted
Well,
me to defend them. Here we
Well,
are.
too bad. No. Sometimes you don't have to defend everyone. You're not a knight, okay? This guy sucks.
I'm a Super Saiyan 4 Bardock White Knight. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah,
I
okay.
actually
you
don't
like
think
his
he's that
medium
bad.
chance
I
to
like
dodge,
him.
bro.
Yeah, bro.
You're like that. He
Giant ape
loses
power.
all his effectiveness under 70% HP, and then he loses half his stats under 50% HP,
Just don't
which
get
you're
hit.
gonna commonly be under 50% HP.
You see,
You know,
he just don't get hit.
Skill issue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you're like the legendary Goku event, this guy's gonna be a killer, man.
Yeah, of course.
Minato, you're just using him in the wrong places. You just don't use him in red zone. Use him on
Okay.
easy content, and then he's great.
Red zone,
Sure,
red
okay,
zone.
you're
Use them in the
right,
blue
you're
zone. Blue
You're
zone.
right. I should just
What have we?
He's
Maybe I
7
should
mil
calm
guarantee crit. Come on now.
What have we
he
said
was
about
pretty.
it,
I did find a use
Kiko?
for him when I was farming the Dokkan event. That was pretty cool. He was able to crit and get things done really quickly.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
the
see,
new,
there you go.
He's the new Namek
He's a
Goku. He's
Dokkan
a-
event killer, man.
yeah, he's
That's
the
right.
Quest Zone killer.
I was just gonna
All
say
right.
that. Like, how does he do in Quest? That's how I always evaluate a unit in this game.
Yeah, how good are they in quest mode? Link
It's
leveling.
important, like what have we said? There's like almost 30 areas coming up. That's a lot of content. That's very important.
That's right. For sure. Well, speaking of content, let's jump into the Heroes Red Zone, which actually is kind of difficult content. Like I said, I went in, I don't even remember what team I did, but I got the Heroes mission done on my first try. So I didn't find it that hard, but I'm someone that goes deep. Like I had a full rainbow team with like all new units. So I didn't have any trouble with it. Minato, what was your take on this Heroes Red Zone? How hard did you think it was? Were you able to get that mission done?
The hero's mission was actually pretty difficult, but I went into it like the team like full link level 1, like 55% a bunch of these units, so it was difficult for me. But I know that the super class side is much harder than the extreme class side, right? I ran the extreme team, and hardest team made it so much easier, right? Than like if you're running the super class team. From what I was seeing, I saw like some people went into there with the super class team and just had tons of trouble. Luckily, it's unlimited event like attempts, right? But it's
Yep.
kind of funny.
They learned
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna-
lesson.
I'll have to check my YouTube and see what team I ran. I'll kind of check that while other people are talking. But yeah, go ahead, Vilify. What do you think of this Red Zone?
Well, like I said, I'll just kind of double down. They did learn their lesson by making it unlimited attempts. a fun limited time event like this. But the mission itself, I actually ran the superclass team, but my my friend support was a hearts, so technically I did run a little bit of extreme class. I kind of did like a hybrid build, right? Like did we all do the Cumber stage here? If we all beat it,
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone did the Cumber stage, Minato.
Yep.
No,
Which one did you do?
none.
You didn't. You don't have it done?
Nope.
Huh? If I
No,
can do it, you
duh,
can do
I
it.
did a Cumber stage. You're an idiot.
I was gonna say, like
I just said how I did the mission for the Cumber stage. Are you
I
listening?
didn't hear Cumber
Look at
stage.
you. This guy's a fake Dokkaner.
Listen,
Doesn't even
I
watch
was-
my content on YouTube.com.
No, that is not true. I clicked on your
That's
video to see the
crazy.
team you did. I
Oh
actually,
yeah,
I
yeah.
did it.
Okay, there you go. You're gonna at least let the video play for the watch time, sir. Hello? Oh my
I think
god!
Oh,
This
come
guy
on.
doesn't support smaller creators.
I
can't believe
Okay. But yeah, I was busy doing the Bardock next to Juki thing. All right.
I was gonna. I was
So
waiting.
that's what I was busy with. But yeah.
Okay.
I ran just basically a team that kind of centered around letting Xeno Super Saiyan 3 Goku do his thing on one side, and then Hearts and Silas of that rotation. That's where I kind of found like a thing for Silas. I was like he's hitting near 7 million or something like that, and doing 2 or 3 supers, and I'm thinking like, okay, this guy's not as bad as I had originally thought. But It was just a trial and error type of thing, and then literally once I got Xeno Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I did it on my first try and haven't really tried again since. So I'd say if you have Xeno Super Saiyan 3 Goku, or if you have Hearts, just run 2 of him and just kind of let it come to you. It's not too bad.
Yeah, so I've got my team build here. I pulled up my YouTube. So I did do a full superclass team, and I got it done on my first try. And this was 2 Limit Super Saiyan 4 Gokus, and then a Vegeta, Limit Breaker Vegeta, Super Saiyan 3 Xeno Goku. I had Super Saiyan 4 Gohan, who I think did very well here. And then I actually have Xeno Pan for like the dodging. And then I actually have Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Vegito on my team. So he made it on my clear. So that was the team that I ran for it.
Vegito, huh?
Yep, I had Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. You know, that super dodge chance, I think it did pop off in the video. I think he did get that off once. So obviously RNG is always going to play into it, right? So Juki, how was your experience with this red zone stage?
It was fine. You wouldn't believe who I actually had on my team. I forgot. I pulled it up because it was. It's still.
Was it Bardock? Was it
Yeah.
Super Saiyan 4 Bardock?
I ran Limit Breaker for Vegeta as my lead. Super Saiyan 4 Gohan, Super Saiyan 4 Bardock, Great Saiyaman 4 and 3 Robelu, and then a Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Goku friend lead. And
See, Minato, Juki just showed you. He's good. Super Saiyan 4 red zone viable unit.
Fake.
Yes.
Fake.
No.
Fake.
Juki, thanks for representing the Ningen way with Super Saiyan 4 Bardock. He would be proud of you right now.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, what would Ningen think of Super Saiyan 4 Bardock? Who
Well,
could
he
vouch?
no, actually no. Ningen would be blind because it's Bardock, and he's like, well, actually, this Bardock has some pretty neat usage in this certain stage. I actually took him against Red Zone Janemba, and
So Minato, how about like you play Ningen and I'll just call on you as Minato and then I'll call on you as Ningen and then you have to do a Ningen response to everything. How's that sound?
I don't think so.
Don't think so? All right.
No, that's gonna be too tiring, brother.
Sorry, Juki, I cut you off. Was there anything else you wanted to say on your run?
Great Saiyaman 3 carried. That's the big thing. I tried it a few times with Hearts lead and running a rotation of Limit Breaker 4 Goku and Vegeta, and it's definitely a case of like I would need more dupes in my Vegeta because he just was not defending well enough.
Sure.
the poor guy was getting like 2.5 mil. Like
He's
maybe
not that guy,
200K
pal.
defense.
Trust
He's not that guy. Trust me, you're not that guy. And yeah, so the moment I switched up to Great Saiyaman 3, combo was gone, and I was very happy.
Yeah,
'cause
I mean, if he's taking
kills
normals,
that
yeah.
ATO phase, man.
He absolutely he ruins the red zone. It's great.
Yeah, when he's doing like 2 mil counter crits, like it's crazy.
And then Rebelu just being a great floater option because she can just sit there and heal when you need to. It's probably why Bardock was a bit better than like I thought he was going to be, because I did doubt him at first with all of his HP restrictions, but if he's at least over 70%, he is really good. He can
Yeah, he's
sit
effective against all
comfortably.
types.
He can sit comfortably in slot 2. And, you know, if you at least have one dupe in him, he can sometimes double super. But yeah, no, it was fun as well because it's different bosses. Like at a certain point, having like the Wicked Bloodline stage is just like, oh, half of this is just movie bosses again.
Right.
So
all right. So let's jump into our next topic here. So on global, we got the Trunks and Vegeta celebration. So we're kind of on to the thank you celebration, all that stuff, and into the winter campaign now. So we'll just really quickly go. Me and Juki are the global players here. But Juki, did you summon for Trunks and Vegeta? And what do you think of the unit? If you've seen videos on them or if you've used them yourself?
I've only been able to use them as a friend lead. The only the unfortunate thing is I have rainbowed STR Kefla and Blue Kaioken now from that banner.
Yeah.
And I've got I think it's 2 dupes in the Goku Black. So the Goku Black's the only one I've actually managed to 2 dupes in Goku Black. He's the only one I've managed to use so far, and he's good. He's quite fun. He just needs we just need Tech, Rose, and Zamasu to sort of help flesh out that extreme future team. But yeah, no, it's undoubtedly Trunks and Vegeta are at peak. They are really, really good, and they deserve to be sort of at the top right now. And it's going to be hard to I think it's going to be quite hard to top them, to be honest, because they lead one of the best populated categories in the game, just as bond of parent and child. Like how much it has is really good, and yeah, no, there's not much I can say other than they are just really good.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing. So I got super lucky and actually pulled them on tickets. And then I wasn't really planning to go deep on the banner because it is overall a pretty bad banner. But global, we got some nice little, 3 rounds of discounts with the free multi at the end. So I had to do that. So I got 1 copy of them on tickets. And then in that round of free multis, I ended up getting 2 Goku Black. So I wasn't mad at that at all. And using him at 55%, I would say they're not only the best unit in the game, but I want to say they're the best 55% unit in the game because they have so much built into their passive. Like, without dupes, they just are so impressive. So if you're someone that's summoned and you got 1 copy, do not feel the need to go in for dupes. Take your 1 copy and skate out of there. They're still going to dominate at 55%. So Minato, as a JP player, has had them for a while. Do you want to add on anything about Trunks and Vegeta? Do you still think they're the best unit in the game?
They're good. I mean, I would say if you think they're the best unit in the game, that's perfectly fine. I think there's a lot of arguments for different units. Yep. I would personally say, again, if people don't like this opinion, I think that Gamma 1 is better. What? What did you think I was going to say?
Physical Kid Goku.
I thought you were going to say Super Saiyan 4 Bardock.
I would say the top 3 in the game are that Kid Goku, Gamma 1, and then Vegeta and Trunks. I would say, it's a few times past. It's hard because Kid Goku, his influence is so strong.
It is.
I think it's so you have to use him to feel that influence. I just think that, I don't know. I would say Gamma 1, then Vegeta, Trunks, then Kid Goku probably. And it's mostly because of the leader skill, I think. Because I think Gamma 1 would have the best team. Vegeta and Trunks have the second best team. Kid Goku's team is not really nearly on par with that. And I do think that does really create the deciding factor for me. And plus, Vegeta Trunks does also have the active skill, which is pretty important, right? So that's why I would leave it like that. But I think Vegeta and Trunks, obviously, if you think they're the best shooter in the game, sure. I completely understand and agree, right? It's not that big of a deal.
Physical Kid Goku fits on the team of death at the moment, which I forget who the leader would be. Would you run around Double Gamma 1 or something like that? But it's like the movie Heroes team, the one that literally, it just feels like it can't die. You got Piccolo, you got Carnival Goku, you got Tech God Goku, Gammas, Android 8, or Hachan, sorry, whatever you want to call them, right? But yeah, that's just, I don't, if Trunks and Vegeta on a team like that, if they ever get a team that's just there's just defensive walls literally everywhere, it's be tough to say, right? Because Physical Kid Goku, I know that we're talking about Trunks and Vegeta, but just that damage reduction that just you can give to the whole rotation, just giving the LR gods just that additional damage reduction with a certain amount of orbs is just so crazy.
Well, yeah, if you can give a unit with 700k, 800k defense that isn't meant to have damage reduction, giving them 8% makes a big deal when they've got that much defense, right?
Right.
So that is very cool, unique thing that he's got there, right? So moving on, we've got some Easy A's coming to Global, and JP's got all these. So Global did get STR Vegeta Blue, so we do have him. And then we've got Tech Vegito Blue and STR Rose. So, Vilify, maybe I'll start with you on this one. Being that you've maybe had these units for a little bit, what are your assessment of these units coming up?
Bold of you to assume I have Tech Vegito Blue.
It is bold, but maybe you've seen videos or the Tech Vegito Blue.
I know that the kind of the verdict on him is that he is very RNG dependent. And you're going to, I think STR Rose, especially on the global side, is going to age and become a little bit more relevant once we see these buffs to the Extreme Future Saga team. Like we said, we have LR Merge Zamasu coming, a little bit later than we probably want him to. And it's the same thing with the LR Rose, Goku Black, and Zamasu EZA, which are two of some of the better Extreme class units in the game. Like, we want to talk about an EZA being done right. You just have to look at the LR Rose and Zamasu, right? But STR Rose will be solid. I just think he needs a little bit of time, and Tech Vegito Blue can look very impressive, but it is a bit of a coin flip. So he's one of those guys, if you only have one copy of him for some reason, or you could be like me and have zero, he's probably not going to look too impressive.
Sure. Minato, what is your take on these units, being that you probably have them on JP?
I don't like them too much. The more I use them, the more I just out on them, and I don't use them anymore. Which tells you,
Yeah.
Again, like Vilify said, Vegeta Blue's issue is RNG. If you get good luck, you're like, yeah, but then sometimes you're just like, one super, 3 normals.
Yeah.
One super, 3 normals. Right?
Yeah.
Multiple turns in a row. Or you could be like, quad super twice in a row. He's so good, right?
Right.
I think that they should have given him, if they wanted to make him like actually like good, give him the high chance of super and leave everything else the same. And then he'd be like twice as good. Like, unironically. Rose, Killing Blow sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Worst mechanic in the game, probably. Like, I know, who said something else was said to be the worst mechanic in the game? I think, Juki, you said the enemy HP. No, killing an enemy, worst restriction. Especially for a unit like this. If it was like a Mega LR, sure. But this Rose is like, the issue is that...
What damage is he doing?
Yeah, like it's similar to... these units that have very low defense that want to get hit like 10 times. It's like that, but like opposite. Except that at the very least, you're guaranteed to take attacks, and worst case scenario, you could pop an item. With this, you're kind of like, well, right?
That's what makes the Goku Black and Zamasu EZA so good, is that they kind of make up for the fact that your defense isn't very high up yet with the guard for, the first
4 turns.
4 turns, yeah. So
is it 4 turns? It might be. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because it's like, by the time you're done building up and you have that guard, you've already gotten up to like 700k defense. So it's like you're almost like, normals aren't going to be a problem anymore. It's like, obviously a super in the red zone could be a little bit tricky, but it's just, they're going to look way more impressive because the fact that defensively they are a wall with that guard that, you can get away with losing the guard after 5 turns or whatever. Or 4, what did you say, 4?
Yeah, Minato, there's a worse mechanic than the Killing Blow, and that is having Android 16 on rotation to transform.
That
is the worst mechanic of the game.
Mine is medium chance to guard, I think.
That's pretty bad,
well, that's not a mechanic, that's a condition, so you're wrong.
It's not a bug,
medium chance to guard sucks, too.
That's right.
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
It's a feature,
yeah. STR Vegito Blue's original kit, that was just an Easter egg. They just had to fix it.
That's right. That's right.
They were testing to see if we were paying attention.
That's right. Just like that EZA Goku and Gohan unit that they that you get from Super Battle Road that has been in the game, but we haven't been able to get him, and then they just recently updated his passive. That was the same thing. Like, here's the passive because he's in the game, but you can't actually EZA him yet. And now, since it took us so long to EZA him, we got to update the passive, right? But that's a whole different story. Juki, what do you think about these units? I know you've probably had a chance to use maybe the STR Vegito Blue, but maybe your thoughts on these other 2 units coming up as well.
I definitely agree that Rose is in a bit of an awkward place because of the restriction he has. Like, it'd be a lot better if events were a bit more like Dokkan events, where the first phase is a complete pushover, but in some stages the first stage is either unkillable, like Metal Cooler Core, or really hard to kill, like as mentioned before, the robot in the Metal Cooler stage.
The robot, baby.
Yeah, the robot.
the guy. He's
that guy.
The Vegito Blue is always gonna be that. Sorry, just noticed the side. I just saw him fly in. Um, yeah, Vegito Blue's going to suffer from RNG for a while, and it's a shame because I know a lot of people are like really hyped on Tech Vegito Blue, and now he's just kind of rot away the same way he has for years, which is just if he doesn't super, he doesn't build, and it's not really fair in a way. But STR Vegito Blue, thank God he just kept completely updated. They didn't like go backwards on global and like give him his older passive and then give him his new one.
I asked that in the. Did you read the outline? Because I said that. I'm like, I don't know if global is going to do the same cycle that JP did. It's like, truly.
Thankfully not.
I think that would have been awesome. Where it's like, they released the old one and then we had to spam them again. It's like, how we have like how like it's like the traditional thing now, like a lot of the global Twitter is people spamming that fix the friend system video or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe not now because they did, but like, yeah, imagine we had to do that again.
No, they did it even after it was fixed.
I mean, like, what more do people want? The dev account thing is awesome. Have we talked about that on this podcast yet?
We have.
I don't know, but I think we have because it was like on JP for like a few months, right?
Oh, it was brought up once, yes, because I remember I brought it up and then you guys told me about what JP was doing, but like, yeah, so I mean, I still have found times where I couldn't find the leader I wanted though, but it has been better.
Far between, right?
It's a lot better for like dupes. So like when I was doing the heroes red zone, I was finding 100% Super Saiyan 4 Gokus every single attempt. And it was not hard to find like a 55% one, which is better for content like going forward. Like if we do get LR EZAs, it'll be a lot easier to find those LR friend leads that we need at higher levels, and someone like Jay Fanta won't have to rely on a 55% LR. Poor guy.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot better, and LR STR Vegito is definitely one of like now with his updated passive, he's going to be one of the better aging free to play units, I think.
His stack capability is good.
He's very good. And what I love about him is because he only stacks defense on his 12 key. So the way you used to play him was you would actually aim for the 12 key. But I love that they made it so now if you get the 18, he gets the additionals or the chance for the additional, which makes you want to go for the 18. And then you can still get, I think you can still get 2 12 key stacks. So that's really, really nice the way that they built him. And he gets key very easily. So it's very easy to get the 18 key. So I'm liking STR Vegito. Now, I haven't used Tech Vegito Blue or Rose, but my understanding is that a lot of people, I think, actually like STR Vegito Blue better, and it's maybe just that he's more consistent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it might just, I'm sure that like a fully like crazily built up Tech Vegito Blue probably looks insane, but is the RNG going to get you there, and is it a long enough event to get to that point? And then, as Minato mentioned, the killing blow is probably my least favorite mechanic in the game. So yeah, I hate that he has that. The thing that's so sad about Tech Vegito Blue and STR Rose is that I think they had potential to be some of the best EZAs in the game, and they just got scared. They just didn't give them enough, I feel like. So
yeah, I would point out with STR Vegito, the reason why I really think he's better is because he has prepared for battle. Much better link than over in a flash right now.
Oh, and the thing we didn't mention is he has ridiculous equips. He has ridiculous equips that you can farm up.
I mentioned that in the outline.
Yeah. So just for me personally, you guys can tell me if you agree with this, but I went level 5 defense on bronze, level 5 defense on silver, and then I went it was the gold defense and additional equip. That's the way I built mine. So I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with that. Some people I know like to go more additional, but I went as much defense as I could, and then I put a little of additional with the gold. That's what I did.
I'd probably exactly. The same. I haven't had much luck with farming the equip, sadly. So most of mine have been prep like critical edition.
After some bad luck and a couple tries, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm probably never gonna use this unit anyway.
Well, you know what? You just suck. What about that?
I do, yeah. But I was like, I could just, if I'm gonna play quest, I'm just gonna link level and get incredible gems. I don't need this.
Well, I mean, you can link level on that stage though. It's just not good.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like, but you can still do it until you get the equip.
Yep, that's what I did.
I mean, if you're not going to use them, then you don't have to. But you never know when you might need them, and then you're going to be like, "Well, that sucks. I didn't farm them."
You know what? I'll do that for the rest of this episode. How's that sound?
There you go.
Sure. I mean,
which stage is it again? 28-3.
So for the gold equip, you want to do the very last stage, I believe, is the gold.
28-3, right?
And I think 28-5 and 28-3 are the stages.
No, it's 28-3, 28-5, and 28-8.
Yep.
Thank you.
Those are the ones.
Well, if global players, you guys still haven't farmed it up. There you go, right?
Yep. Those are the stages. Get those equips. All right, well, let's move on to the JP side. I know this was a very, well, I want to say global heavy, but the hero stuff was like both at the same time, right? So now we're going to move on to JP exclusive stuff to kind of wrap up the show. And we got Yamcha as a Dokkan Fest exclusive. And I'm going to tell you all right now, this is the treatment Raditz should have gotten. So Raditz is just crying in the corner right now. But Minato, let's start with you. Tell us about this Yamcha and the Yajirobe. I know you probably haven't had that much luck getting them. I've been watching your Twitter. But what's your assessment of them? And you can tell us about your Yamcha saga if you want to here.
So they seem good. I think Yamcha is like, I don't some people arguing like him to be in like Z Bardock tier or, you know, Gamma tier. I think he's a little more towards the Gamma tier, especially because his early on performance is really, really strong and can be good for some of these Wicked Bloodline stages, which you could tell they've been designing these units for the Wicked Bloodline red zones over the old, you know, movie bosses red zones, right? The ones that last a lot longer. So that's why I'm, you know, kind of thinking about more so in those stages, which are more difficult, right? I would say the issue with Yamcha is that obviously past turn 4, he does lose a lot of stats. And his stats go a little too low for his normal, like, you know, to take normal attacks and stuff sometimes, even though he has a dodge chance, right? Another, like, potential issue is that his dodge doesn't actually add together. To clarify for you guys, his dodge is separate chances, right? So he has a 50% chance to dodge. Then he could build up to another 50% chance to dodge with the additionals he does, plus the active skill, right? And depending on that turn. So they're separate chances. Unfortunately, you don't get to, like, you know, let's say use the active skill, you get 5 attacks. That's not a guaranteed dodge, which does suck because they're in different phases. That's the only thing. I wonder if they're gonna, like, it would be interesting if they do fix that in the future and just make all the dodges like activate in the same phase so that they all add together. It would be really, really good for some of these units, right? But who knows if they're gonna do that or not. But yeah, Yamcha's good. Really strong leader skill. Obviously, Skip, though. We have a lot of stuff upcoming very, very soon. It seems that, you know, there may be like some little small kind of, you know, hints and leakages going on literally during the podcast that, you know, well, apparently B Squad might not be anniversary. So I would assume it's gonna be New Year's, right? So we'll see what happens there, right? But past that, Yajirobe is actually quite good. Yajirobe, having his off-turn support, is very influential. Senzu Bean, survive chaos attacks. I think he's going to age. Like, in 3 years, Yajirobe's still going to probably be good, right? Depending on how many other units are released that do the same thing he does, right? But he's going to be a very, very good unit for a very long time.
Yeah, I think he shares that in common with, like, say, the tech androids, units like that basically they're essentially carrying an item with them when you go into these stages that don't have items. So like tech androids, you got that free Ghost Usher, or Pycon, you got that free like Pycon's aged pretty well because of that, because he's a fairly old Dokkan Fest at this point, and people still can use him because that Ghost Usher is so useful. And I think Yajirobe's got the same thing with that Senzu Bean, especially against someone like Cell Max that's going to try to lock you. Like, it's going to get you out of that lock. So I think that's really important too. And then back onto that dodge chance with the separate phases. So if you go hidden potential, does he then have 3 phases of dodge chance, right? None of those would combine? Is that how that works, Minato?
So it's not 3 different chances, it's 2 different chances. Start of turn, and then, well, I guess it's 3 if you count the hidden potential, right?
Right, that's what I'm asking, as if I do hidden potential. Yep.
So like start of turn, then on super attack, then hidden potential.
Okay. So if you did go like heavy dodge on him, essentially he's got 3 different dodge procs in his passive to try to hit.
Yeah, so like let's say you get him up to what I think it'd be like 25 dodge or something.
Yep.
He would have the 50% chance up to the 40/50% chance, again depending on the active skill.
Yep.
Then he would have another separate 20-30% chance, right, to get that activated. So that's how it works.
Yeah. So Vilify, have you pulled for Yamcha and Yajirobe? What are your thoughts on these units?
Yeah, I very quickly went in because I was like, I wasn't going to summon, and then I saw that the banner was pretty decent, but, you know, we walked away in 100 stones with a Angel Golden Frieza, who obviously I was dying for copies of. And
yes,
what was it? My first copy of the ROF Blue, so I'll just take that as another unit off the list, and then who was it? My second copy for Ginyu, so no luck on Yajirobe and Yamcha, but like Minato said, there's a lot of stuff coming up, so it's just I can't validate going in too deep on these banners at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Juki, as a global player, do you have any thoughts on these units, just maybe watching videos on them, or have you not really looked at them that much?
No, I've looked at them a decent bit. I was shocked when I first read Yamcha's details. I didn't expect it. I thought it'd be another like. I knew it'd be similar to. I guess our last thing with this was like Videl, but Yamcha's infinitely better. Like the biggest thing that I want to come to global as quickly as possible is his category, because I think like that Z Fighters ish category, the Warriors Raised on Earth, is just a massive help because it allows like it gives another option for like Piccolo and Gohan units, especially with superhero stuff presumably right around the corner. It gives them another outlet to like give them a team rather than just Bond of Master and Disciple or movie heroes or something like that. It gives them another slot just to help and be running. So it's really good, and plus it's more Turtle School buffs. So it's always nice to see Turtle School buffs, a category that really shouldn't be as underrepresented as it is, because it does have a lot of really good like busted Goku units, but it never really has had like a proper lead until now, which is definitely a positive. That's mostly what I've taken away from it, other than Yajirobe getting the incredible card he deserved.
Yes. Yeah, nobody I think was expecting Yajirobe to be the side unit. Pretty crazy to see that happen. And I love when kind of these less hype units get really good cards. My big takeaway is, once again, what the hell were they doing with Raditz? Because clearly they know how to handle these not hype units. Like, because they did it right with Ginyu. They did it right here with Yamcha and Yajirobe. Why were they so bad with Raditz? Like, what? I don't understand it. It's kind of like, you know, what Truth always says. He's just such an anomaly. Like, what were they thinking? And I feel bad for all those Raditz defenders out there, or the guy on Twitter actually named Raditz defender. Feel bad for the Raditz fans out there, because he should have been way better. I'm just going to hope that whenever EZAs, he gets like the most busted EZA ever. That would be awesome to see this Raditz redemption down the road. But who knows?
Yeah, we'll just gotta wait 4 or 5 years, you know.
Yeah, just gotta wait 4 or 5 years. Yeah, you never know.
There's a lot of
That'll
hills.
happen.
You see, we have this world where there's a lot of hills to die on, and if you're willing to choose the hill of Raditz, I mean, it's like, I don't want to say you're crazy, but
I was just gonna say, you know how they keep the flaws in these units? You know, what if his flaw is just that he's bad?
Yeah, that's just his flaw.
Poor guy.
I want them to admit that they messed up. I want like a statement. Like,
unironically, like, there's no way they messed up. I swear this is on purpose. Like, like, what if there's just them testing? Like, yeah, Raditz, Raditz is so weak. Let's just make him bad and see how he sells.
That's what I was gonna say. We were just testing to see if you guys would summon for anything.
Anything, yeah. Like, his passive literally says unit is bad for first 99 turns. Like, that's just what his passive reads when he EZAs. That would be funny.
Surely Minato would do a summon video.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, next up, we did get confirmation of the Bojack EZA. So obviously not a lot in common with Yamcha, but I think it's just he's next man up. He's the most, in terms of age, the most deserving to get an EZA. So what are our thoughts on this Bojack? What do we want? Do we think he's going to be very good? So Vilify, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on Bojack getting these EZA? Or Minato, do you want to go first?
No. One thing I do want to point out, I'll let Vilify go first. By the time this goes up, the Bojack EZA details will be out, because we're recording this. So I'll give you guys insight. We all have, you know, a thing called schedules, I feel, in real life.
Yeah.
You know, that's a thing. So we can't, you know, really plan around exactly every single thing that's going to be announced, unfortunately. Right. So literally we have to record this, like literally 2 nights of this recording will be when his details come out. So we're just going to be, I just want to put that out there so you guys are like, whoa, Bojack details are already out, right? You know, sometimes things happen. So that's all I'll say.
Sure.
I'm just going to give you... Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I was just going to say, so if we do any predictions here, those of you watching, you can see how close we are to Bojack's actual EZA. Go ahead.
I think the big issue with this Bojack EZA, I put it in the outline, but they waited so long to do this. And, you know, you had a feeling that this was going to happen, but by the time Bojack got his EZA, STR Bojack is already a thing of the past, right? Like, because when it comes to best linking partner, it's not even close, if I'm not mistaken. Like, maybe you could have some units in the game that have, like, good links with him, but, like, you just want to talk about, like, the overall best partner that's going to make this Bojack look his best. STR Bojack, you just can't really use anywhere. He's
got specific Bojack links that you want, like, I think Galactic Warrior and stuff. Like, you want to have him with the Bojack.
I'll pull him up.
Yeah, you want to have those links for sure. Because I've got it pulled up right now. Because he's got, well, Big Bad Bosses you can get, but Galactic Warriors and Hera Clan Those are pretty good links. So
yeah, you said it right here, Galactic Warriors, Heraclan. So it's like, yeah, Big Bad Boss's Thirst for Conquest and Legend. But yeah, he's also got Revival and Shattering the Limit. It's like, yeah, Cooler's got those for sure. You know, it's like, what do we? It's like, I don't know. I feel like they just missed the mark on the timing for this EZA. He could be as good as he wants to be, but unless he's just like freely going to be like the best EZA LR in the game, I just don't see many opportunities where you're going to be able to make this guy look his best and also be able to run him in difficult content.
For sure.
He's also got the HP stuff. Like, I'm looking at it right here. I would have to imagine this stuff stays. The more HP remaining, the greater the attack boost. The less HP remaining, the greater the defensive boost.
Yep.
He's got that Int Kid Goku in him in a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Becomes more tanky with low HP.
Yep, for sure.
I think that I want him to give him damage reduction. And you see that super attack effect where he gets something on his 18 key? He gives all allies 40% attack. What if he just gives all allies 40% attack and defense? What about that?
For 2 turns.
Maybe as a floater, as long.
No. 2 turns is kind of crazy, but let's chill. But I think that they could potentially add defense there, right? They do that a lot, even if it's just to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Juki, what are your thoughts on this Bojack coming out?
It's mostly the same. Like, it's really poorly timed. Especially just given like Celebration just has Yamcha. Nothing to do with it, but like his linking partners are either other Bojack units or like the tech free to play Demon King Piccolo, and I don't really know where you're gonna run them two together. Like, they share good links like Thirst for Conquest, but as you guys have said, like links like Galactic Warriors and Heraclan are vital for this guy to survive. Like 20% attack and defense is crazy. Plus, just giving him all that key as an LR is a massive help. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they do, because he's one of those units where his passive is so small that it's hard to think about how they can just buff it up a lot. Because with more recent EZAs, the passives have gotten longer and longer, and they fit certain roles, so we can easily just go, oh yeah, they can buff this, and this. Like STR Cooler, just give him higher stats and defense stacking, and he is God.
And
But
it's
with
like we're
Bojack-
getting a lot of these like recent EZAs with more recent patterns that are actually longer. So Bojack's kind of very basic, right?
Yeah, it's going to be awkward. Like if they just slap on something like medium chance to dodge, a chance to guard in the first slot. If, God forbid, they do it, if there is another storied figures movie bosses unit, this guy gets X amount. You know, like they could do something insane to make him useless, but I really hope they don't, because I have this guy at like 90%, and I want him to be good when he comes out on global.
Yeah, for sure. So like, yeah, and as you guys said, Bojack's passive right now is so basic. It actually is kind of hard to predict, other than we know they're going to do something with the HP, right? So they're going to keep that. They may change like the thresholds of the HP. They may add extra things on. So like maybe he gets damage reduction at first, and then maybe he loses it, but then gains defense to compensate. Maybe they do something like that to balance him. In terms of linking partner, I think if they do make him good enough, he would be, because I'm looking at like his list of linking partners, and like his most relevant linking partners of actual like meta units would be LR Metal Cooler and LR STR Cooler. And they share Big Bad Bosses, Thirst for Conquest, and Legendary Power. And there's a lot of attack packed into there. So you're getting attack 15, attack and defense 15, and attack and defense 25. So he's still getting a lot of very good links. He just won't be at his best as if he were linked with another Bojack. But if they either say EZA the STR Bojack, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility, timeline-wise, I don't know what celebration they would put him in, but he doesn't necessarily have to be far off from an EZA, or they just release some other, if they did just like an LR standalone Bojack at some point, maybe they do another Bojack Gohan celebration or something.
Are you sure? He's like a year and a half older than Cooler. I mean, not older, younger than Cooler, right?
They have
that's a pretty big jump, I feel.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would, the AGL one could work maybe, but one important thing I think people aren't bringing up here is key. He needs key in his passive so badly. Like, look, he gets no key in his passive. He only gets key from his links. So since his best partners right now are the Coolers, which he shares no key links with, that's an issue. So if he somehow does provide a way to get key, not even for himself with the horror rotation, I think that would be really ideal as well.
Right. And in terms of that EZA thing, because I think if we remember back to when they EZA'd LR Goku and Frieza, I feel like they were so extremely early, and I think that would be the same. I don't remember timeline like how early they were, but I feel like Bojack would be in that range. Not saying it's likely that he could EZA. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised at some point if they decided to, if he fit a certain celebration. But obviously, there is no sign of any type of Bojack Gohan celebration in the future, unless they just decide, yeah, that's going to be Christmas, or that's going to be, the anniversary, which I don't feel like that's anniversary worthy. But just if they did for some whatever reason, I wouldn't be surprised. But yes, the AGL Bojack, which Juki brought up, he's definitely due for an EZA, right? So I think there is some potential for that Bojack somewhere. I just don't know where it's going to be. But I think if he's good enough, I could run him on one of these cooler teams, and he might be good there. It's just really going to depend on what that EZA looks like, right? Anybody else want to say anything on Bojack? Pretty good there. All right, Minato, tell us how amazing burst mode is. How awesome is burst mode?
It's not. It's like, you kind of go in there and you nuke, and then you win, and you get 3 hit points. Woo! I don't know.
And what do you buy with what do you buy with the coins again? It's just the OSTs, right? You just buy music?
They said that you could exchange for various items, but it's just the OST. So I don't know if they're going to add more in the future or what's going on there, but right now you could just get the OSTs, which is fine. The OSTs are cool, right? But
and that jukebox is live in JP, like you can change your so what is it, like every different screen you can pick a different audio, or how does that work?
It's not every screen, but like in different screens you can pick an audio. And I believe it may stick with that audio in certain events too. So we'll see how it looks in the future. I think they're gonna probably improve upon it more and more. And it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Okay. I mean, this is a pretty quick topic. I'm Vilified Juki. Do you have anything you want to say about burst mode?
Minito said everything. I think it has a little bit of potential. It like with just being able to kind of revitalize like an old event for some fun, different kind of content. But the fact that, it's just like nuking is like whatever. But, also, when are you ever going to get a chance to use STR Goten as a leader? So it's like... it gives you. I guess it gives you something, but doesn't mean it's good.
I mean, it's interesting. I thought it was cool. Like I don't think it's completely bad. Maybe I was hating on it too much. I think it's like cool because you get to use units that you usually wouldn't use, like you said, STR Goten, right? In that aspect, but I don't know. It's like if you really look at it at a larger perspective, it's like kind of boring, but it's kind of cool. Like, yeah, that's it's weird to say it like that, but you get my point, I think.
Right. All right, and then the last topic here is we just have the Zenny shop change, which I actually think is very cool. So, Minato, do you just want to tell everyone what the Zenny shop change is that's coming up?
So,
I don't think it's
bring it up too.
Yeah. Is it in the game right now, or is it coming out?
It's in the game.
Okay.
So, Vilf gotta have it on the screen, but essentially what that is, they updated the Zenny shop where you can buy more stuff in the Zenny shop. Certain things are still limited per day, like, the 150 times gravity chamber. There are, new turtle, the platinum turtle shells in there. They are still limited. And then there's the older kind, supreme kind medals. But besides that, everything else you could buy unlimited amounts of, given you have the Zenny for it. And that's why, for example, I personally went to buy all these medals, and I maxed out every single, medal that I could in the game in that Zenny shop. So that's very cool. And I know tons of us have tons of Hercule statues or capped out at Zenny who have nothing to do with Zenny for years. So now what you could do, especially if you've been a long time free-to-play player grinding some of these EZAs, is you can get some of these let's say, I think the best one is the King Kai medal. You get that, you exchange all Zenny for those, get max, and then you exchange that back for Baba points, and you essentially get 1 million Baba points for every time you do that, which...
Oh, wow.
Well, it can definitely cost a good amount of Zenny. I'm sure many people have more than enough, right? So...
I'll do it right now. I'll see what it's... you said the King Kai medal?
Yeah, the King Kai medal.
It is 100,000 per, and then how many do I have? Because... I spent, so personally, I just decided to mess around, and I bought 9,999 50 times chambers.
So that's cool.
I wouldn't run out of training locations ever again, because I was actually kind of getting low.
I got 750. I feel like that's good for now, right?
I don't know. I just wanted to see what would happen. I was like, let me just never have to worry about this again. So I'm under a billion Zenny for the first time in God knows how long. But hey, at least it's actually I put it in the outline, right? I keep mentioning the outline, but It's like, we don't have just to sit around with 1.99999 billion or whatever, right? It's just like we can actually use the Zenny for something now. And I think that's a really positive update, other than just like waiting for Easy Ace to come out and having Zenny ready to go. It's like, oh, we can actually use this to farm stuff, right? So you said King Kai Awakening Medals. And then if I were to max this all the way out to 9,999, yeah, that's 1 million Baba points. All right.
That's pretty good. For people that need Baba points.
Mm-hmm. And then, so let's just do it, right? So there we go. So now we're up to 2 million Baba points. And then we want to go to the Zenny. And then say I wanted to buy them all back again. I probably won't buy all of them here because I don't have as much Zenny as I'd like. But let's see how many I can buy right now. Okay, yeah. So I could buy 999 of them right now. And then that would cost me 99 million Zenny. Yeah. So we do this, 99 million Zenny. Yeah, that's not even that bad, right? So then you would just do that again, and then we would go back in here, and then that's another 1 million Baba points right there. Yeah, so for 100 million Zenny for 1 million Baba points, like, I'd say that's pretty good, because Zenny's very easy to farm, right? Like, I'm good on... look, I'm good on Baba points for a while now. Like, 3 million Baba points is a respectable amount, right? Like, that's and that's not just coming from units right now. So, yeah, that's actually a pretty good farm, I'd say.
Now, the next update, they need to let you buy unlimited stuff with Baba points, so I could just buy out like all my Ghost Dusters or whatever that pops up in the Baba shop. That would be awesome. That would be legit. Juki, did you have anything to say on this? It just seems pretty cool, right?
Yeah, no, it's something that I hope rushes over to global soon, because the one of the more positive updates they did recently was obviously the film reel update.
Yeah,
the Baba shop. So like more stuff like this is going to help a lot, and I mean. I need Gregory medals.
Everybody needs Gregory medals, yes.
Especially when farming up units like
Here you go,
super attacks for free. That looks so nice.
Let me 9942.
I think I'm genuinely at like 120.
I wrote that on the thing too. I was like, unlimited Gregories, rejoice, new players no longer have to deal with this issue.
Yeah, it's
I gotta make a video on that. Struggling with Gregories, just do this.
Easy win, but yeah, no, it's whenever they just having quality of life stuff like this every once in a while, it's just going to help the longevity of the game. I mean, we got like a bunch of we got that new stage of the Roshi event as well. You guys did, didn't you?
Can I pull up the missions for that right here?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think JP got new Supreme Kai missions too, right? To get that weird unique thing, and you can buy like box space and stuff with that, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah, the Supreme Kai.
The Supreme Kai missions, yeah, right.
Are you talking about these things?
Yeah, didn't you?
So
guys
those no, they're not out yet.
Oh, okay.
So
but they're coming. They're coming.
We're gonna get that in tomorrow's data download, right after Bojack's ETA. So it's gonna be out tomorrow. So yeah, that's what I said. You know, sometimes our schedules don't really match up, but we'll talk about it in the next one.
Yeah, for sure. Very, very cool. Well, I think that
February.
Yeah. Whenever we have the next podcast. So do you guys have anything else you want to add before we wrap up for today?
Nope. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that is going to do it for our show today. This has been episode 102 of the Dokkan Battle Podcast. I would like to thank my guests today, Vilify, Juki, and Minato, for being great, wonderful guests, very insightful. So anyways, we hope you guys all enjoyed. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you all on the next one. See ya.